I watched her through the hotel window. There she was, my wife, on the bed, legs wrapped around another man, laughing, moaning, like I never existed. Like the 10 years we spent building a life meant nothing. She didn't know I was there. Didn't know I'd followed her. Didn't know this night would be the last time she'd ever see me. I didn't kick the door in. Didn't scream. I just turned and walked away, calm, cold, and already planning my disappearance. By sunrise, I was gone. The airport was quiet when I arrived. I stood in line at the check-in desk, heart pounding like a war drum, but my face was calm. Ice cold. I wasn't panicking. Not anymore. I was executing. While the clerk processed my passport, my phone buzzed, 10 times in under 2 minutes. All from Lauren. Texts. Missed calls. A voicemail. I didn't open a single one. She had no idea I saw her. She probably thought I was still asleep, tucked in like a damn fool. I booked the seat by the window and stared out into the pitch-black morning. I'd been cheated on, lied to, played for a clown, but I wasn't about to cry about it. Not like the guys who find out and just talk and do nothing. Not me. I was doing the one thing she never expected. I was vanishing. Flashback to 12 hours earlier. The moment I saw her on that man's lap, something inside me snapped. Not in a violent way. In a clean way. Like a cord had been cut. My love for her didn't die with a bang. It disintegrated. That laugh she gave him, that light in her eyes I hadn't seen in years, it was never for me. When I got home and confronted her, her lies rolled off her tongue so effortlessly it was almost impressive. Michael? Oh my God, seriously, Jake? You're mad about that? That's the same guy who's been calling you every night at 11 p.m.? He's just been helping me with my yoga classes. You're always paranoid. And then she went full villain. You've been boring lately, Jake. You don't even try anymore. Do you expect me to wait around forever while you mope and work late every day? Maybe if you paid more attention to me, we wouldn't be here. Boom. There it was. The classic deflection. I wasn't mad she cheated. I was mad she made it my fault. But I didn't raise my voice. I just watched her. Like a stranger. Like someone watching a fire spread through a house they no longer lived in. I went upstairs. Showered. Sat on the edge of the bed and stared at our wedding photo. My hand hovered over the frame. I could have smashed it. Could have tossed it out the window. Instead, I just turned it face down and left it right there on her nightstand. Downstairs, I logged into our joint bank account. Transferred my half to my personal savings. Booked a flight to Lisbon. Why Portugal? No clue. I just picked somewhere far. Somewhere warm. Somewhere she'd never think to look. At 3:44 a.m., I walked past our bedroom, looked at her one last time, and left. She'd find the silence louder than anything I could have screamed. Back at the airport, the final boarding call echoed through the terminal. I took a deep breath and powered off my phone. Goodbye, Lauren. Goodbye to the lies, the fake smiles, the empty kisses. I wasn't going to beg for answers. I wasn't going to stay and work through it. I wasn't going to become some sad, broken man crying on the bathroom floor. She thought she had the upper hand, that she could cheat and gaslight her way through it. She thought I'd stay. Most guys do. But I had one weapon she never expected. I left before she could destroy me. And that was just the beginning. 3 days into Lisbon, I hadn't spoken a single word to Lauren. Not a call. Not a text. Not even a read receipt. My phone stayed off, tucked deep in my backpack like a cursed object. But every now and then, I'd pull out my laptop, connect to the cafe Wi-Fi, and check my email. That's when I saw it. 47 messages from her. Subject lines like, "Please just talk to me. I made a mistake. I didn't mean for you to see that." Then finally, "Where the hell are you?" That's when I smiled for the first time since this all started. She was unraveling. Not because she missed me. No, not Lauren. She was unraveling because she lost control. For the first time, I wasn't playing by her rules. No begging. No emotional breakdowns. No desperate attempt to win her back. Just silence. And that silence? It was killing her. But let's rewind, because there's a detail I haven't told you yet. Something that even I didn't want to admit at first. That night before I left, I followed her. I knew something was off weeks earlier. She was distant, yes, but there were clues. A second phone I found under her seat once. A name, Melinda, that kept calling, even though she didn't have a friend by that name. The sudden obsession with yoga retreats and Friday nights with the girls who never seemed to post anything on social media anymore. So that night, after the Instagram story bomb dropped, I waited. I let her think I'd gone to bed. She kissed me goodnight like she wasn't lying through her teeth, and then snuck out of the house 20 minutes later. I followed her in an Uber, my hood up, watching from the shadows. The hotel wasn't even discreet. And when I saw her step into the lobby wearing that red dress, high heels clicking like war drums, I knew. I knew she wasn't mine anymore. Hell, maybe she never was. I didn't follow her into the room. I didn't need to. I waited. Waited until I saw the lights go off. Waited until I could make out the silhouette of two bodies against the curtain. That was enough. I didn't need to know his name. Didn't need to hear her voice moaning for someone else. Just knowing she could do that, lie to my face, share our bed, then sneak away like a coward. That was enough fuel to burn every bridge behind me. So when she says in her emails, "I didn't mean for you to find out," that part is true. She didn't. She planned to keep both lives going. The husband at home paying the bills, and the secret thrill on the side who made her feel young again. She didn't want me. She wanted control, comfort, power. But all that was gone now. Now she was sending me novels, pathetic, desperate stories where she was suddenly the victim. You abandoned me. You blindsided me. You could have at least talked to me first. Imagine that. She wanted a conversation now. I ordered another espresso, leaned back in my chair, and watched the Lisbon sunrise stretch across the street like golden silk. In that moment, I didn't feel pain. I didn't feel rage. I felt free. This wasn't heartbreak. This was rebirth. I wasn't going to waste a second chasing a woman who treated my loyalty like a joke. I wasn't going to cry over someone who lied for months while looking me in the eyes. No, I was going to disappear so hard. She'd start to wonder if I was ever real to begin with. And trust me, that was only the beginning of her downfall. By day 6, the tone of Lauren's emails had shifted from desperate to venomous. She'd gone from, "I miss you, Jake, please come home," to "You're acting like a child, grow the hell up," and finally to "If you don't come back soon, I'll take everything in the divorce." That last one, that made me laugh. Out loud. Lauren was always good at manipulation, but terrible at reading the room. She thought threatening me would pull me back under her thumb. She didn't know I'd already spoken to a lawyer the moment my plane landed. I wasn't just gone. I was 3 steps ahead. My attorney, Vincent, was a no-nonsense guy. Ex-military. Sharp as a scalpel and twice as cold. When I told him everything, how she cheated, lied, stole my peace of mind, he didn't flinch. He just asked for the prenup. "We don't have one," I muttered. He raised an eyebrow. "Then we hit her where it hurts." Proof. Timeline. Leverage. I had all of it. Timestamps, messages, screenshots of her texts to Melinda, with hotel confirmations. Even a video clip Jason managed to snag from the Instagram story before it got deleted. Her sitting on that guy's lap, twirling his hair like a damn teenager. Lauren was so sure she was untouchable. But she didn't just screw up, she did it loudly, in the digital age, in public. And now, I had everything I needed to destroy her legally. But I wasn't in a rush. No, I wanted her to sweat. I stayed quiet. Let her wonder, let her spin in circles trying to figure out where I was and what I was planning. She started calling my friends, texting my mom, even emailed my boss, asking if he'd heard from me. Like she was the worried wife of a missing man. My boss, bless his soul, emailed her back with 2 words, "None of your business." She didn't like that. Then, the real breakdown started. One night, I opened my inbox and saw this. Subject: "I messed up, Jake. Please read this." It was a wall of text. Emotional diarrhea. She said she felt neglected, that I was never emotionally present, that the affair just happened. My favorite part? When she called it a mistake, as if it was something she dropped on the floor and not a months-long betrayal she orchestrated behind my back. She tried to flip the script. "You left me," she wrote, "and now everyone's asking questions. Our neighbors think I'm the villain. How do you think that makes me feel? Oh, poor Lauren. Betrayed me, humiliated me, then had the audacity to ask for sympathy because the neighborhood gossip didn't paint her as a saint. She didn't care that she shattered our marriage. She cared that she couldn't control the narrative. That's when it hit me. She wasn't sorry I was gone. She was sorry she looked bad. Her perfect wife image? Gone. The dependable husband who worked his ass off to fund her lifestyle? Gone. The man who used to apologize for problems she caused? Also gone. She wasn't used to consequences. And now they were piling up fast. Vincent sent her an official notice through his office the next morning. Legal separation pending, full divorce proceedings to follow, and a request for immediate asset freeze. Within hours, I got an email from her, subject line in all caps. What the hell is this? I didn't answer. Instead, I walked along the beach in Portugal, waves brushing my feet, thinking about how damn good it felt to finally let the mask drop. I wasn't her safety net anymore. I wasn't her audience. I wasn't her damn fool. I was the man she underestimated. And now she was about to learn what that really meant. By week 2, Lauren finally snapped. She stopped pretending. No more fake tears. No more sugar-coated apologies. Now, her messages were raw, venomous, and full of rage. The woman who once begged for my forgiveness was now accusing me of ruining her life. Let's get something straight. I didn't ruin anything. I just stopped protecting her lies. She sent one email with the subject, "You're a coward, Jake." Inside, she wrote, "Running away doesn't make you strong. It makes you pathetic. You couldn't even be a man and face me. You left like a child, disappeared without a word, and now everyone's looking at me like I'm the monster. You made me cheat." That last line, "You made me cheat." I had to reread it 3 times. Not because I didn't believe she could say something like that, but because even I underestimated how delusional she truly was. According to Lauren, the months she spent sneaking around, lying to my face, gaslighting me, were my fault. I worked too much. I wasn't emotionally expressive. I didn't take her out enough. She acted like stepping into another man's bed was a logical response to being married to a loyal, hardworking man. But here's what she didn't know. I wasn't just sitting in Portugal sipping coffee and watching sunsets. I was digging. I hired a private investigator. Yeah, while she was ranting in emails, I was collecting facts. I wanted more than screenshots and Instagram stories. I wanted her entire web of lies exposed. And oh, did he deliver? Turns out, Michael, the guy in the hotel, wasn't the only one. There were 2 others. One was a personal trainer she met at the gym last year. The other? Some tech bro she'd met at a yoga retreat in San Diego. The same yoga retreat she said was to reset her mind after a rough patch between us. She told me she was going there to heal. She went there to get railed. The PI sent photos, hotel bills, restaurant receipts, even screenshots of flirty messages from an open forum where she used a fake name to brag about keeping her options open. My blood didn't boil. I didn't cry. I just sat there in silence, letting the truth settle. I was married to a pathological liar. Not just a cheater, a manipulator, a full-blown performance artist who crafted entire personalities for the men she was with. She told each of them different stories about me. One that I was controlling, another that I was cold and distant, and even told one that we were already separated. She wanted to play the victim so badly she rewrote the truth. And the irony? She called me a coward. No, Lauren. Cowards are the ones who smile at their husbands, say, "I love you," and then sneak out 2 hours later to ride strangers. Cowards are the ones who lie until they're caught, then blame everyone but themselves. I wasn't running. I was rebuilding. In silence. In peace. Far away from her poison. She thought disappearing meant I'd gone into hiding. What she didn't understand was that I was preparing something much colder. I wasn't going to yell. I wasn't going to fight her in public. I was going to destroy her with stillness. And it was working. Friends had started asking questions. Her parents reached out to me, not her. Word was getting around. People were starting to see the cracks in her story. Lauren was spiraling. Alone. Unmasked. No control. No shield. Just her and the truth catching up. And I was just getting started. It wasn't until day 19 that Lauren finally called my bluff. Except I wasn't bluffing. I was walking through the Alfama district in Lisbon, warm breeze on my face, when my phone finally buzzed again, not email this time. A call. Blocked number. I let it ring once, twice. Then curiosity got the better of me. Hello. Dead silence. Then, her voice. Low, shaking, trying hard to sound composed. "Jake, thank God. I've been trying to reach you for weeks." I didn't respond. "I know I screwed up," she said quickly. "But you're going too far. You left me, Jake. You ghosted your wife. This isn't normal. You can't just disappear like that. What about our life? What about our house? The bills? Taxes? Your job?" Still I said nothing. "You think you're punishing me?" she snapped, her voice tightening like a vice. "You're punishing yourself. You're alone, halfway across the world, no one beside you. I'm here, Jake. I'm home. You can still fix this." That word, fix. She still thought this was a crack in the wall. Something I could patch up with enough emotional duct tape. She hadn't realized yet the house had burned down. You cheated, I said flatly. She went quiet. You cheated, I repeated, with at least 3 different guys. Lied about it. Blamed me for it. And now you want me to come back and pretend the bed you desecrated can still feel like home. Jake. Stop talking. The line went quiet again. I could hear her breathing. Shaky. Angry. You don't get to rewrite this, I continued. You don't get to play victim. Not this time. You lost me the moment you decided your pleasure mattered more than your promises. There was a pause. Then her real voice came out. Fine, she hissed. You want a war? You'll get one. Let's see how far your little pity party goes when the court hears about your abandonment. Click. She hung up. And there it was. The real Lauren. No tears. No remorse. Just ego. Threats. Fear of losing control. I expected it. Hell, I welcomed it. Because now I could stop pretending she was ever worth grieving. She wasn't calling to apologize. She was calling because she was losing her grip on me, on the story, on the image she'd carefully built. But she didn't know what I'd already done. I'd filed everything. Collected receipts. Witnesses. Evidence of infidelity. Financial fraud. Yep, turns out she'd been siphoning money from our joint account for months, funneling it into a private credit card to fund her little retreats and self-care nights. The cherry on top? She even bought that red dress using my Amazon account. The same one I found crumpled in her gym bag with another man's cologne all over it. Vincent had everything. My attorney said it plainly during our last call. She has no leverage, Jake. She's desperate. That's why she's panicking. We play this clean. You walk out with everything that matters, and she walks out exposed. I didn't need revenge. I just needed truth. And truth was already doing the damage. That evening, I sat at a rooftop bar, wine in hand, watching the Lisbon skyline blaze orange. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel like someone's husband. I felt like me again. Whole. Clear-headed. Untethered. Lauren once told me, you'd fall apart without me. But she was wrong. She was the weight I didn't realize I was dragging. And now that I dropped it, I was finally flying. Week 3 came with a storm, not in Lisbon, but back home. And Lauren? She was standing in the middle of it, without an umbrella. I hadn't said a word publicly. No rage posts. No cryptic messages. No she broke me sob stories. I let silence do the talking. But truth has a nasty habit of slipping through cracks, especially when you're trying to hold up a fake persona like Lauren's. It started with Michael, the hotel guy. Apparently, he didn't know she was married. Lauren, ever the liar, told him I was an ex who wouldn't move out, and that we were basically separated. But after I vanished, and she started spiraling, she must have reached out to him. Maybe trying to feel wanted. Maybe trying to get validation. Whatever it was, it backfired. Michael messaged one of my friends, Jason. Yeah, that Jason. The guy who'd shown me the original Instagram story that exposed her. He was pissed. I didn't know she was married, bro, Michael wrote. She told me you two were done. Jason forwarded the message to me, then posted it. Publicly. Caption. Funny how some people only find the truth when the lies start falling apart. Stay strong, Jake. And just like that, the dam broke. People started talking. Our friend circle. Her coworkers. Even her yoga group. I didn't tell anyone what happened, but Jason, bless his loyal soul, did. And he wasn't subtle. He called her out by name. Called her a manipulator. Said she gaslit her husband for months while sneaking around with 3 different men. Showed proof. Screenshots. Hotel receipts. The works. And people believed him, because guess what? It was all true. Lauren's Instagram went dark within a day. She shut off comments. Blocked people. Even deleted old posts of us together. But it was too late. The image she'd worked so hard to build, the sweet, spiritual, self-loving wife, was shattered. Everyone saw her now for what she really was. A liar. A coward. A woman who didn't get caught. She got exposed. Meanwhile, I was still in Portugal. Quiet. Calm. Sipping espresso in the morning, walking the beach at night, and letting her world fall apart without lifting a finger. I didn't need to do anything. She was burning her own house down. The most poetic part? Her own family found out. I got an email from her sister, Megan. Jake, I'm sorry. I didn't know any of this. Lauren told us you had a mental breakdown and ran off. She said you were cheating on her. But now that we've seen the truth, I don't even know what to say. If you ever need anything, I'm here. Let that sink in. Her own blood turned on her. Not because I made them, because she couldn't hide anymore. People like Lauren depend on darkness, on secrets, on silence. But once the light hits, their whole persona dissolves. And suddenly, they're not strong. They're not confident. They're just exposed. She went from threatening me to begging me again. Can we talk? Just one call. I didn't know how to ask for help. I miss who we were. I read those emails like they were written to someone else. Because the man she thought I was, the man who'd crawl back, cry with her, forgive her just to keep the peace. He died the night I watched her through that hotel window. The new me? He was done pretending. She used to call me boring. Too predictable. Too soft. Funny how quiet, boring men are the ones who disappear without warning and leave a trail of destruction without lifting a hand. And she had no one left to blame but herself. The divorce was finalized 47 days after I left. No trial. No back and forth. Just paperwork, silence, and her signature, scribbled like an afterthought at the bottom of a contract she never thought she'd see. Vincent handled everything with military precision. She tried to fight, at first, demanded alimony, claimed emotional abandonment. But when he laid out the timeline, the financial fraud, the multiple affairs, she folded. Her lawyer must have told her what I already knew. You don't win a war you started by accident against a man who's been quietly building an army while you bragged on Instagram. In the end, she got nothing but her maiden name back. The house. Mine. The savings? I took my share and donated half of hers to a women's shelter in her name. I didn't want revenge. I wanted meaning. Let her live with that donation plaque. Let her see her name associated with actual strength, not betrayal dressed in self-love quotes. The day it was official, I walked out onto my Lisbon balcony and finally turned my phone back on, for good. No fear. No knots in my stomach. Just clarity. There were over 200 unread messages. I didn't open a single one. Not from her. Not from her friends trying to mediate. Not from random people who once liked her photos and now whispered about her behind her back. I wasn't angry anymore. I was clean. Unbound. I'd spent years loving a woman who wore a mask, who weaponized affection, who turned loyalty into a joke and thought a pretty face could excuse a rotten core. But now, she was just a chapter, a lesson, a scar that didn't bleed anymore. I rented a small place by the coast. Simple, clean, no drama. I started journaling again. Hiking. I met people who didn't know my past and didn't ask for it. And for the first time in years, I slept without grinding my teeth. But here's what mattered most. I didn't hate her. I pitied her. Because a woman like Lauren will never feel full. She'll keep chasing attention, validation, and dopamine hits until the mirror finally shows her what she is, alone. Meanwhile, I learned something priceless. If your gut screams, listen. The heart lies, the brain overthinks. But the gut? It always knows. Silence is a weapon. Not every battle needs blood. Sometimes you win by disappearing. Betrayal doesn't define you. Your reaction does. So if you're in the middle of the storm, if you're still hearing lies wrapped in love, still holding on to someone who couldn't hold on to you, know this. You're not weak for leaving. You're strong for surviving. And sometimes, the real power isn't in yelling louder or fighting dirtier. It's in walking away so quietly they don't realize they lost you until the silence starts screaming. That morning, Lauren woke up and I was gone. She thought I vanished. But the truth? I was finally found.